What up, guys? This is Kong, and today I got the chance to watch Netflix release movie Cloverfield Paradox, and I got the chance to watch it tonight. And here are my pros and my cons. I thought this movie was gonna be it's gonna ties all the first movie, the second movie, and give us a little bit more info about the third and then potential fourth movie. Kind of, tying everything together and kind of showing us the bigger thing, the biggest schemes of things that are happening. But as you can tell in my voice, in my disappointment, I would say, it really disappointed me. It failed on so many points. So let's talk about the pros and the con, and I'm gonna give you my thought of the movies, and then the rating, of course. The pros, I like it as the diverse cast. There's this Sing Ying, if I don't know if I say her last name correctly. You have a Chinese, Asian actor. You have African. You have two African American. I think you have a German actor, and then you have an American. Well, the two African American are. Well, you have the lady, the engineer. She's African American, and you have the commander. It sounds like he's actually from another country just by his accent, but he's still an American. And then you have a German and you have a German, and so the cast is really diverse, and I like that. I like seeing movies that have a diverse cast, because in reality, there are diverse casts, diverse people at work. So wherever you go, there's people of colors, people of different backgrounds, and most of the time when you watch a movie, you see just Caucasian. It's just okay, you're not that important, Show us different people of colors, different people with different backgrounds. And I like the whole, they have the classic space thriller, claustrophobia, there's sound effect. It really kind of puts you there, kind of like remind me of Life that recently just came out. There was another one by that there was also in space, and the space got destroyed. I can't remember the name of that, but it have all the elements and the formula of that kind of space thrillers. So and then another thing is I like the setup of the space station, the look, the technology, the suit, the everything they fleshed it out. The design, the prop, productions is really great. I mean, it look real. And I like the ending of Hamilton, sending a message to her alternate self, and I thought, and she cried. She say, "Hey, you need to do this so she can, save her child, because I guess you can say our Hamilton lost her kids." So I thought that was a really really sweet, very bitter ending, for our main character Hamilton. Now let's talk about the con. There's a lot of con in this movie. Not con, it just, I wish it did a little bit more than just space. Okay, it raised more questions than answers. So one of the questions is like, why did the boyfriend find the girl in the first place? He was just driving, and then he found this rubble, and he found the little girl. That's, to me, just, I didn't really quite buy that. Why was the gyroscope in one of the astronaut's stomach, and his the warmth in his body and his his stomach? It's a lot of unexplained things. Yes, I understand they went to another dimension, another space and time, and there's a flux, distortion in the time space. Okay, I get it, but it doesn't have, you don't see the causality, you don't see the cause or the effect of them doing it, you know. And then also it's like, where did the monster come from? They never talk that in this movie. It just say, you see in the sequence with the boyfriend and the monsters in the shadows, you know, in the background shadow, and that is it. And then also it's really hard to tie in Cloverfield, the first one, my favorite, I would say. The second one, yeah, it was good. It had some good acting, but it didn't really do anything, you know, either with the first one or the second or this one, Cloverfield Paradox. It didn't really tie everything, you know. Okay, it just loosely, you know. To me, at this point, actually, let me just go on to the next thing and I'll talk about it. How did the other engineer, you know, Tam is the Chinese engineer, and then Tam is, Jensen is the other alternate version of Tam engineer. How did she know the gun, where the gun is located? I understand that they were in the same space station, but how did she physically know that there was actually a gun there prior her to actually being there? So, what else? How did Smith have security clearance to actually make a plastic gun in the first place? I just didn't get that part. Like, okay, you're expecting me to buy this? I'm sorry, I'm not buying this. Why did Jensen, the alternate, alternate dimension Jensen, want to save her own Earth, knowing that her Earth is gonna die and it's gonna be obliterated? I just don't get it. If your Earth is dying, you might as well just go to another dimension. You're getting a free ride. Yes, I understand there's people there, but the world's gonna end. There's not much you can do. I know it's harsh for me to say, but if I was in her position, I'm like, you know, there's nothing I can really do to save these people. Yeah, and I get her point of view, but it's like, this universe that you live in is the end, you know. And the thing is, like, she could have herself go back with the information without actually, killing the crew. But and then she also said, yeah, we can't build fast enough. I sort of didn't buy that, you know. And that's about it for the cons. I think there's probably others, but I'm not thinking about it now. So let me talk about my thought of the movie. To me at this point, I feel like J.J. Abrams, J.J. Abrams and his production company are just using the name Cloverfield to really hype people up, get people interested, but not really building the stories or the good story that tell how it all happened. I feel like he's just doing that just to get people's attention. Not really giving us a really good, solid story that we as the audience deserve. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense. It's like when you put money into kind of this thing, you want to make the best it can be. And you don't, to me, it tells me that you don't really care about the story, the characters, the movies, the process. To me, it's just like, you don't really care. To me, I feel like the person, producing, don't really give a fuck. Maybe they do, but not to the full extent of like making the best movie and make it a coherence, make it make sense, make it, even though thing doesn't really go the way it should, but give us hint that the audience say, oh hey, that makes sense. But this movie doesn't do that. It's so loosely tied together. And maybe that's the reason why they do it, because it's gonna be alternate universes. And we know that as human. We know that there's possibly other, but it's just horribly bad. It just doesn't tie everything together. We as the audience want that, and why didn't you deliver on that? You can always come back and make another one and tell us a different story. And another thing I kind of it bugs me is that it just doesn't. It's not a well story. I guess I'm harping on that because I want it to be good, but it's not really good. It's just another name to me right now. It's just another Cloverfield in title. It doesn't live up to the first Cloverfield movie. I thought the first one was probably my favorite because it gave us that journey, the personal journey, that sadness, the Banner family, the first point of view, and I liked that a lot, despite of a shaky cam. That gave it a more personal touch. Where the second one, it felt like we are outside of the personal, outside of the experience, and we're looking in. We're like gods, and we're looking in. And this third one is exactly the same thing. We don't really follow the crew or the people. We're outside of the crew, outside of the lens. And that's too bad because we all want it to be great. We all want it to tie together. We want answer to the first one. This sort of did answer, but didn't really answer. And the only answer I can really think is that because of the firing of the energy beam that caused something to flip, to switch places with each other, and a monster with the consequences of that. And that's the only thing I can think of. But even that they don't show you. They show you a little bit, but you as an audience have to assume that. And as great as that is, it just wasn't well tied in. And the writing was kind of dry. And it kind of felt bare bone to me. Didn't really have depth. The only person who had depth was Hamilton. I felt like she had the most emotion. She had the most stake. With these other casts, they don't really have any stake at all. Maybe except for Jensen, but she feel kind of hollow. All the casts feel kind of hollow. So, as to my disappointment, I really am disappointed. I wish it was tied in everything, give us some answers, give us some great visuals, some great effects and that sort of stuff, some great insight, but we don't get that, unfortunately. And that kind of sucks, for as a moviegoer, movie critic. Sometimes you just have to watch terrible movies and movies that don't make sense and don't tie everything together and you can tell there's no real effort. But anyway, enough of my rant, enough of my criticism. I give it this a rating of 3 out of 10. I would say don't watch this movie on Netflix because it's not that good. It's a lot of question, like I said, and not enough answer. And it feels like it's out of places, some of the scene, and doesn't answer the question. It's just leave you hanging. I guess that's what I like. I hate that feeling, to be honest with you guys. I don't like to be hanging. I like to be given a hint, to foreshadow things for me. I like that because that give me some expectation to know what's going on. Again, guys, I give this a rating of 3 out of 10. I would not recommend watching this. Don't waste your time. Only watch it when you are desperately bored, you don't have anything to do, and this is the only choice of options. But most importantly, please like, thumbs up, share, subscribe, browse my YouTube channels, and press the bell button, guys. Please do so. I really appreciate that. And again, guys, thank you so much for your time and effort to watching my movie review of Cloverfield Paradox. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.